What's going on, Colts Nation? Appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to talk about the Colts' first unofficial depth chart of the 2024 season. Now, of course, this is for the preseason. Colts game coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock against the Denver Broncos. So, what are we looking at with the depth chart? We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into this. All right, so as we look, starting with the wide receivers, of course, Michael Pittman Jr., and yeah, so let's try to get all of it in here. The running backs are the bottom. Okay, so we can pretty much see everything. Running backs down here, obviously, it's Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon. But no surprises. We have Michael Pittman Jr., Bernard Raymond, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Braden Smith, Mo Alley Cox, Kylan Granson, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, or A.D. Mitchell. They're still in competition. Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor. Those are the starters. Again, nothing surprising there. We know we have the competition going on between Pierce and Mitchell. So as we go into it, that's what we're looking at now. We are waiting to hear, are the Colts starters going to play? I assume tomorrow after the Colts practice, we're going to get an answer on that. There's no joint practice this week. So I think the starters could end up playing, right? A lot of young guys in both starting lineups. A lot of guys that they're going to want to see get in some game action. So I think the Colts starters might play. We'll keep updated on that. But we do have joint practices the next 2 weeks and for the next two preseason games. So we're probably not going to see starters in the last two preseason games. But that's who we're looking at as our starters at the moment. And then as we go down the depth chart, Ashton Dulin coming back this year. DJ Montgomery behind him. Of course, Anthony Gould right there behind Josh Downs, already making an impact. Somebody who's for sure going to make the team, probably going to be a returner for us. And again, being in more of a Isaiah McKenzie type role, in my opinion. Isaiah McKenzie did special teams too. So just kind of all around, Anthony Gould taking over that spot. Hopefully he can just hold on to the ball better than Isaiah McKenzie was able to. Juwan Winfrey back with the team. Tyree Cleveland, Derek Sluica, and then Laquan Treadwell. So those are guys as depth pieces. We'll talk more about the depth pieces in another video that I'm going to record here in a little while. We'll probably push that out tomorrow or the next day, talking about some of the guys on the back end of the depth chart and the roster bubble and that kind of thing, and also a projection of who's going to make the team. And then as you look at the offensive linemen, we have a lot of oars in here. It'll be interesting to see how they decide to stack the team this year, right? The rules have kind of changed, right, with the emergency quarterback. So how are they where is the extra guy going to come on this team? Is it going to be an offensive lineman? Is it going to be receivers? Is it going to be DBs? It'll be interesting to see what we decide to do. But as you can see, left tackle, Bernard Raymond. Of course, the starter, but Blake Freeland and Jake Witt behind him. For left guard, you have Danny Pinter or Tanner Bortolini or Wesley French. You also have the same thing for center, Ryan Kelly, and then those three. So we have those three battling it out for those two spots. And I assume because of experience and because of continuity, I would assume Danny Pinter probably going to be somebody who stays on the team. If they have to pick, right, Danny Pinter probably going to be on the team. Tanner Bortolini, somebody who's for sure going to be on the team, and expect even if he's on the practice squad for his rookie season, he's somebody who I expect to be on the team. Then right guard, Will Fries, Josh Sills, or Dalton Tucker. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Josh Sills was here last year, but I think Dalton Tucker might have a good chance at that position. And then right tackle, Braden Smith, Matt Gonsalves, and Arlington Hambright. Arlington Hambright, somebody that was on the team and off the team last year. Practice squad, active roster. So be interesting to see what happens with him. But Matt Gonsalves, I expect to be there. And then it's really the tight end position that we're really going to be curious about here, outside of the Alec Pierce and A.D. Mitchell competition. Right, you have Mo Alley Cox, who a lot of Colts fans Didn't think would make it this far and wouldn't be on the team at this point, but he's here, still a starter. Drew Ogletree, Eric Tomlinson, Kylan Granson, Jelani Woods, Will Mallory, Jordan Murray. Someone's got to give at the tight end position, so that's one that we're going to keep a close eye on. But it's interesting, there's no oars in there, but I do think they all kind of get first team reps. They all get second team reps. A lot of 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets. So they all kind of get in at different times for both. But it'd be interesting, or it'd be nice to see somebody from this tight end role really come out and just take the reins of the job. We need one of those guys to really step up. So hopefully it can be Jelani or Will Mallory, whoever it is. Well, I think Will Mallory's been getting more play with the first team. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Then, of course, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell going back and forth in that position battle. Alec Pierce seems to have really taken a step this year, at least so it seems through training camp so far. So hopefully we see a better version of Alec Pierce. But overall, A.D. Mitchell, I feel like just too good to not end up as the starter. Then just a couple notes throughout training camp. Alec Pierce and A.D. Mitchell have alternated taking first team reps. Then all 5 starting offensive linemen are returning players as the Colts returned 87% of their offensive starts from 2023, which is what the Colts wanted to do, right? Continuity. That was a big thing for the Colts this year, was continuity. Then for the defense, we have Kwity Paye, have Latu behind him, but with injuries, Latu's been the other starting end on the depth chart. It just doesn't show that way, which is very interesting. Don't know why they'd put the depth chart out with it looking like that, but either way, Kwity Paye, Latu, Taekwon Lewis, Dio, those are the other 2 guys that we're going to be looking at getting big-time minutes. Levi Bell from the UFL was signed recently. Isaiah Land is somebody to keep an eye on as a rotational piece coming into this season. And then Gennard Avery, Titus Leo is not out for the season. I was expecting him to be out. He is back at practice. But at the bottom of the depth chart, Gennard Avery was here last year. And, of course, Samson Ebicom going to be out for the season with an Achilles injury. And then on the interior, D-Buck and Grover, your starters, of course. Tommy Ade, Taven Bryan, Eric Johnson, Jonah Lalu, who was drafted this year in the 7th round, and then Raekwon Davis, who's been unable to practice so far because of high blood pressure. But once he's able to practice, he's going to fit right in there behind Grover Stewart. And then everything else kind of as we would expect right now, and as we've talked about. EJ Speed, Zaire Franklin, nothing crazy there. Jalen Carlisle is right behind EJ Speed in the depth chart, though, which is good to see. Craig Young, somebody from Indiana, he's filling in behind Jalen Carlisle for that will linebacker role. But then you have Segan Luby, Sam Grant Stewart, some guy I've never heard of behind him, probably not going to make the team. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here, right? Jalen Carlisle could end up as Sam, right? Especially in the scheme that they like to run. They had Ronnie Harrison playing that Shaq Leonard role when they get, in 3rd down situations or obvious passing down situations, and you want more speed on the field. Go ahead and had Ronnie Harrison there. Well, Jalen Carlisle is very athletic, a former safety that got drafted to be a linebacker and can play that role. So going to keep an eye on Jalen Carlisle for sure as training camp and the preseason go along, see what kind of plays he can make. Juju and Jalen Jones right now are our 2 starters at cornerback with Kenny in the nickel. And right now, Nick Cross on the first depth chart comes in at free safety with obviously Julian Blackman heading up for strong safety. So the competition between Nick Cross, Ronnie Thomas, Trevor Denbo, and apparently Ronnie Harrison is, of course, one that we're going to continue to keep an eye on and see what do they want to do with everybody on the team. Something we're going to talk more about. Again, we're going to talk about the depth pieces more, really just kind of looking at what the first unofficial depth chart is before preseason week 1. Some little notes down here. Latu has had an impressive rookie camp so far. He's been incredible. Maybe him and Julian Blackman, probably the two best defensive players in camp so far. The Colts are returning 95% of their defensive starts. So 87 for the offense, 95% for the defense. A lot of returning guys for the starters this year. And like I mentioned, Raekwon Davis is on the active / non-football illness list. Just waiting for him to come back with the high blood pressure. And then to finish off with a specialist here, we obviously bring Rigo back, Matt Gay. Looks like the kickoff specialist is going to be Rigoberto Sanchez as well. Luke Rhodes, of course, one of the best long snappers. And kick return is actually Dallas Flowers, Anthony Gould, then Josh Downs. Punt return, though, Josh Downs, Anthony Gould, Dallas Flowers. So kind of interesting how they're doing that as reverse order from one to the next. I assume because of the new kickoff rule and the way the kickoffs are now, there's some strategy in there with Dallas Flowers. Also, just wanting to get Dallas Flowers on the field. He's been explosive on kickoff return in the past. So good to see that, nothing crazy popping up. Of course, as the weeks go on, we'll get a more defined look at what's happening. Every practice we're looking in and trying to get all the information we can to put together the best analysis on who we think is going to be the starters going forward. So it's just a good first look. And of course, again, the Colts are going to be announcing whether or not the starters are going to play in the preseason. They're going to do that probably tomorrow. I would assume that's coming tomorrow. So subscribe, have notifications on. I have my day job in the morning, but we will be live streaming at some point talking about the practice that the Colts have. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about all the other practices. We're going to be live streaming during the game. Not the entire game because of the day job, but we'll be live streaming during the game on Sunday. So plenty of content coming. Make sure you subscribe, have notifications on so you get notified when any content is dropping on the channel. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.